Hi, I'm Brian from Simple Homesteading, and today we're going to smoke a turkey. Okay, let's be honest. You might be thinking right about now, Brian, how in the world does smoking a turkey, is that a part of homesteading? Well, here's where we're at. We live in a place where we can raise no animals other than a dog, maybe a rabbit or two, because they're considered domestic pets, but no chickens, no turkeys, no nothing like that. Now we'll get there maybe someday. That's what we're counting on, is getting to a place where we can do those things. But in the meantime, we have to make do with what we've got. So one of the ways that we do that, and that we've done that, is after the holidays, a lot of food will come on sale, clearance prices. We ended up finding turkey breasts at Aldi's for greater than 50% off. And so we went ahead and got a number of turkey breasts. We'd bought one there before Christmas, smoked it for Thanksgiving, but after going back and getting more groceries, we bought a number of these so that what we could do then is smoke them again and prepare them, pull all the meat off, put it in the freezer, and store it for meals later on. By doing it this way, we end up conserving money, and we end up getting things that prepare meals ahead of time, or prepare things that we can make meals more easily with a lot more convenience. And so what this video is going to do, and it's going to be a two-part video, is to show you how to smoke a turkey. Now, you can bake the turkey breast or the whole turkey. You can do whatever you want to it. The reason why I'm smoking my turkey breast is because about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, my wife allowed me to get a smoker, always wanted one, had been working with a small charcoal bullet smoker, and really wanted to move up to the next level of a gas powered smoker. I needed the convenience, wanted the convenience, didn't have to babysit it as long. I could be more effective with my time, could have the temperature more consistent over the smoke time. And frankly, they absolutely love the way that smoked ribs, smoked brisket, smoked chicken, smoked turkey, just about anything smoked in that smoker tastes. And so they would prefer that I just go ahead and smoke that. And so for those who are maybe thinking about trying smoking, or do have a smoker but you've never smoked a turkey, we're going to give you an opportunity to see how that's done. And remember that if you would like to smoke a chicken also, this works basically the same way. It's just a matter of the length of cook time, depending on how much meat is actually on the bird. So we hope that you enjoy it, and we hope that you're encouraged by it, and that you end up finding out that it's something that just gives you one more set of skill sets to help things go farther along in your budget, add in the aspect of convenience, go into the knowledge and database of your mind, and something that you can use in the years ahead. All right, so we're going to take this in steps, and the very first step I want to teach you is how to make a brine. Now again, none of this stuff is original with me like most of you. I've just gone on the internet and I've looked and I've studied and I've tried and I've seen what's work and what doesn't work. And so the brine that I use for either chicken or turkey is made up of 1 cup of brown sugar, a light or dark brown sugar, doesn't matter, and then a 1/2 cup of kosher salt. Now, some recipes call for an entire cup of kosher salt, but what I have found out that is if you use an entire cup and mix it equal parts, cup of brown sugar, cup of salt, that it actually ends up coming out too salty. I let my turkeys and my chickens brine overnight for about 12 hours or so. And so I know if I maybe brined it a little shorter, that would work just as well, or it would work better and it wouldn't be as salty. But again, what I end up doing is I end up just using this mix. I found it to work very well for me. Now what I do is this gets mixed down into approximately a gallon of water. Now obviously this isn't a gallon of water, but what I have also found, if I'm not in a hurry, what I like to do is mix my brine up in warm water or very hot tap water, and mix these into that, and they dissolve much easier. Now, when I'm in a hurry, I've put all of this into a gallon of water, and then what I've done is I've taken an emulsion blender and blended it, and I stood there for about 5 minutes and got it all blended up, and then put it in, because you obviously don't want to use hot water or warm water to brine your turkey or chicken in. So what I'll do is I'll put this into hot tap water. I'll let it dissolve. It dissolves much better. Then I'll mix this into a gallon of water. And then what I'll do is once it's cooled down or it's to room temperature, I'll put the turkey in the brine and then put it in the refrigerator overnight, wake up the next morning, get it out of the brine, prepare the bird, and then either put it in the smoker then or put it back in the refrigerator, and then when I'm ready, I'll get it into the smoker later that day. So what's also helpful of getting all that ingredients in there is just one of these canning funnels that my wife uses to can with, as far as putting beans and other things into her jars, and this works incredibly well for doing something like this. So I get this all put in. I don't have to use an immersion blender at all, and I get a nice tight seal on this. Make sure everything's sealed up really nice, and then I basically just shake it up. And again, I'm not in any kind of hurry to get this done. We'll be doing this a little later. It's also about 33 degrees out, so it's not freezing yet. If I really wanted to get this ready and use it right away, then I would go ahead and mix this up, possibly set it outside. I might do that. And then I'll come back in and we'll show you how we get the bird all brined up. And I go, you might say, well, is it really that difficult? Well, no, not really. But there's a couple of things I've learned just for convenience sake that I just want to pass along to all of you. So again, half a cup of kosher salt, a cup of packed brown sugar, and this is going to get itself all dissolved. I'll shake it every once in a while and then begin to cool it down. And then this will mix into about a gallon to a gallon and a half of water. We'll have step 2 here in just a moment. Okay, we've let our brine mixture come to room temperature. We've put it in about a gallon to a little bit over a gallon of water. And then I've got my brining container all set. Now, I found that this little igloo Playmate cooler, which we've had for forever, does a really good job. I've got a turkey breast, as I mentioned earlier. This will also fit 2 really nice whole roasters in here also. And the reason why I have a plastic bag is, for the longest time, I was putting my stuff into here that I would brine, and I let it brine overnight. Then I had to pull the bird out, then I would dump it out, and then I had to go through the whole process of making sure that this was washed really well so there was no cross-contamination. Well, watching YouTube and watching one of my favorite YouTube guys who does smoking, I saw him take a tall kitchen trash bag, put it into a container similar to this, and then put his turkey and his brine in it. And I thought, duh, how come I didn't think of that? And I've only had one of these leak before, and this works really well, because what I do is I pull the entire thing out, put it in the sink, pull the bird out, put it onto a nice clean area that I'm going to work with, and then I just take the bag, dump it out, and then wad it up. And I usually have my gloves on to, again, not to keep myself from getting icky fingers. I could care less. It's an issue of, again, contamination, cross-contamination, and I'm able to wad that entire bag up into my palm of my hand, squeeze it, and then pull my glove off over it. A little trick I learned when I was a full-time paramedic working on the ambulance of how to take gloves off and not cross-contaminate. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and reach over and get the turkey breast. I'm going to put it here into my brine bag and into my cooler, and we'll get this poured in, see where my water level is, and then when it's all set, we'll go ahead and close it up. We'll take it out to the refrigerator out in the garage and put it in there overnight. It's cool enough. I could probably actually let this sit outside because it's not going to get so cold that it's going to freeze, but it's not going to get above 40 degrees overnight. I could also let it outside, let it sit outside too. And because we're in the city, really don't have to worry about too much. Haven't had a lot of problems with animals, although we have had a raccoon show up recently for the first time in the 5.5 years we've been here. So it's better I just keep this inside the garage. So let me go ahead and I'll reach across camera and I'll turkey. Ah, the joys of being a brand new YouTuber. My iPhone ran out of memory, and so I had to stop, put a new camera on, re-glove, and continue. So we'll pick this back up. So I've got my turkey all put into my brining bag, and I've got about 1.5 gallons of water mixed with my brine mixture, and we'll get that poured in there. Now you want this to cover the turkey completely up, and sometimes you'll have problems maybe with it floating a little bit. What I've done is I've taken a 2-liter bottle, empty pop bottle, cleaned it, took the tag off, cleaned the outside, filled it with water, and it works as a weight very well. And we see this one probably needs just a little bit more water. And so I'll go ahead and get some more water here and keep talking to you. And so what I've done is I've taken that 2-liter bottle, got it filled up with water, and it fits very nice across here and works to hold, whether it's my chickens or whether it's the turkeys, works to hold it down in the water so it doesn't float to the top. And again, I said I'll put this in overnight for, I'll get it in at about 9, 10 o'clock at night, and then I get up at the latest 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the morning, and I'll pull it out at that time and dry the bird off. I'll get it all set. I put a mustard base on it with a chicken rub, and I put some butter underneath the skin and the breasts. And when I'm ready, I'll put that into the smoker, and we'll get to that part later on tomorrow when I do that. And what you end up getting is an incredibly moist bird. So again, this is about 1.5 gallons, 1.75 gallons. I'm not too worried about that diluting my sugar and salt mix out too much. I've never had a problem, again, because of how long I baste it for, or how long I brine it for. I really don't end up having that problem. So tomorrow I'll show you what that 2-liter bottle looks like, and when I open that up, and you'll see how it's weighted it down. But for now, we'll just go ahead and leave this as it is, and then tomorrow we'll end up going out and we'll get it into the smoker. I'll also show you what kind of mustard base I use and the rub that I use. I'm really not married into one type of brand name of a chicken rub. I do like a mustard base. There are guys who use all kinds of different types. Men and women use different types. You know, whatever works for you. Again, it's not my way, the highway, or somehow that I know what's the best. The issue is that you just find out what you really like, what your family likes, and you do it that way. And so we'll get this weighted down, we'll get it into the fridge, and then tomorrow morning we'll pull it out, we'll take a look at it. I'll work through the mustard base and the rub, and then we'll get it into the smoker, and then you'll see the end product.